For Eala, it's representing Philippines the best she can. Manila, Philippines. Eala's rise as one of the world's best players is not just for her. From her humble roots to coming as close as ever to the pinnacle, it has always been for Philippine tennis. It's such an honor to blaze the trail for Philippine tennis, said Eala during her homecoming meet and greet with the fans and media yesterday at the Globe Tower in BGC. Tagwig after a banner overseas campaign in just half a year. Eala, only 20 years old, recorded a bevy of firsts for Philippine tennis in her foray to the jungle that is the women's professional circuit, following similar great feats in the junior tennis scene, where she won 1 single and 2 doubles Grand Slam titles. This year, the lefty sensation became the first Filipina WTA finalist, the first Filipina player in the main draw of not only 1, but 2 Grand Slams, French Open and Wimbledon, and the first ever Filipino, in any gender, to barge into the top 60 of the world rankings. But for her, there's more to it than just representing the Philippines on the court. I do my best to behave as well as I can because I know that, especially in the international tennis scene, I'm kind of what comes to mind when they think of Filipinos, said Eala, who wore a Sampaguita hair tie by Nike in her Wimbledon debut last month. I really do my best. I know that a lot of people look up. A lot of the youth look up to me. I just want to represent us in a way that Pinoys would be glad to be represented. Eala is currently WTA number 56, knocking on the doorstep of the sports titans, heading into bigger tournaments. And expect her to go full throttle from here on, starting in the U.S. Open next, as she vies for another historic main draw win. There's still a lot for me to achieve, said Eala, crediting her grandfather Bobby Maniego, her first tennis coach, in molding her to who and what she is now. Her lifelong idol Maria Sharapova, too. Before the U.S. Open on August 24th to September 7th in New York City, Eala will strut her stuff in the National Bank Open in Canada on July 26th to August 7th on top of stints in the cities of Cincinnati and Monterey. On a hot, humid day in New York, with the roar of tennis fans echoing through the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, a young woman tightened her ponytail, took a deep breath, and stepped onto the hard court with the Philippine flag stitched firmly on her chest. Eala was not just playing for ranking points or personal milestones. She was playing for something deeper, something heavier, something proudly stitched into her heart. The honor of representing the Philippines. Born and raised in Manila, where the air is thick with dreams and traffic, Eala's journey into the tennis world wasn't paved with grass courts and silver spoons. It was built on sweat, jet lag, discipline, and the unwavering belief that a girl from Southeast Asia could not only compete, but thrive on tennis's biggest stages. As she continues her rise in the ranks of professional tennis, Eala has become more than an athlete. She has become a symbol of hope and national pride. And with every serve, every backhand, and every fist pump, she reminds the world, this is for the Philippines. Seeds of greatness. The daughter of a swimmer and the niece of a tennis coach, Eala was no stranger to the athletic life. Her early training began at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, far away from the comforts of home. Many would be daunted by the transition from tropical humidity to European rigor, but Eala embraced it. She was a Filipina on a mission. As a teenager, she made waves in the junior tennis circuit, winning the 2020 Australian Open Girls Doubles title and the 2021 French Open Girls Doubles crown. But even amid international victories and celebrations, Eala always managed to center the narrative back to her roots. When I win, I want people to know I'm Filipino. This is not just about me. It's about representing something bigger, she said in an interview that quickly went viral back home. That humility, that fierce devotion to her identity, is what sets Eala apart. She's not chasing fame. She's chasing legacy, carrying a nation's hopes. For most athletes, national representation comes during the Olympics or select team events. For Alex, every match is a moment of representation. Every time she walks into a tournament, be it in Paris, Melbourne, New York, or Dubai, she walks in as the Filipino tennis player. Not just one of many, but often the only one. That weight can be crushing. But for Eala, it's also empowering. There are times I get nervous, not because of the opponent, but because I don't want to let the Philippines down, she once admitted. But then I remind myself, The best way to honor them is to fight for every point. And fight she does. Whether she's facing a top-seeded European opponent or playing in unfamiliar conditions, Alex brings with her a quiet intensity and an emotional charge that speaks volumes. Her wins are celebrated not just in sports columns, but in classrooms, social media threads, and neighborhood sari-sari stores. She is a walking, swinging, grunting ambassador of Filipino pride. Beyond the court. But representation, Eala knows, goes beyond tennis whites and match scores. She speaks in Tagalog during press conferences when she can. She works with Filipino youth through clinics when her schedule allows. She proudly wears Filipino designers on red carpets. And she uses her growing platform to speak out on issues close to home, particularly on the need for more funding and support for Filipino athletes. In a world of polished soundbites and manufactured stars, Eala's authenticity shines like the Manila sun. When asked what motivates her to push through grueling training schedules and long tours abroad, she answered simply, "My country. I want little girls in the Philippines to believe that they can play in the U.S. Open too." The Filipino style. Tennis is often called a solitary sport. You win alone. You lose alone. But Eala plays with the soul of a team. Watch her closely, and you'll notice it. The way she bows her head slightly when the Philippine flag is waved in the stands. The way her eyes light up when she spots fellow Pinoys in the crowd. There's a rawness in her game, a mixture of technique and heart, that feels uniquely Filipino. Maybe it's the grit. Maybe it's the joy. Maybe it's the unspoken Bayanihan spirit. The idea that every battle is shared, that she is never truly alone. You see it in how she recovers from a lost set with fire instead of fury. You feel it in her post-match thank you messages. You hear it in every Taglish tweet she sends out to her fans back home. She embodies the Filipino athlete, resilient, humble, passionate, and proud. Roadblocks and real talk. Of course, the journey hasn't been without bumps. There are the travel delays, the homesickness, the language barriers, the endless grind of the professional circuit. There are days when the losses sting more than expected, when rankings slip, when critics grow louder,